The global Sinnoh Tour event is right around the corner, and that means the worldwide debuts of Dialga and Palkia's origin forms. But not only will it be these two new forms, but the two will also receive their signature moves, Roar of Time and Spacial Rend. So today, we're breaking down how good these brand new signature moves are, as well as the origin forms themselves in Go. So get ready as we analyze the temporal and spatial Pokemon. Welcome back, everyone. So Origin, Palkia, and Dialga debuted in raids last weekend with the Los Angeles Go Tour Sinnoh event, and soon they'll be available to everyone during this weekend's global event. To start off though, let's take a look at the signature moves of the two legendaries. Roar of Time is a powerful dragon attack in the main series, and in raids, this move is a 1-bar charged move with 160 power. Its cooldown is also pretty quick at around 2 seconds, making it slightly better than Glaciate, which is already a top tier move. As such, Roar of Time will make for an incredible move in raids. Palkia's Spacial Rend is a little bit behind, having the same damage and energy for raids, but a slightly longer cooldown. But despite this move being a little worse, the move is still incredible, and with Palkia's higher attack stat, it'll still be incredibly good. Now these two moves will make the origin forms of Dialga and Palkia the best two non-shadow, non-mega dragons, overtaking standard Rayquaza, who long held that title. Of these two though, Origin Palkia is the better of the two due to its much higher attack stat. Origin Dialga is still good with its new move, especially with the added defensive steel typing, but its attack stat is actually lower than its standard form, whereas Origin Palkia has objectively higher stats than the normal Palkia. More on that later on though. Now if you were wondering how normal Dialga and Palkia would perform with their signature moves, here they are. The moves won't be available on the standard forms during the event, and we aren't sure when or if they will be, but if they are ever made available, I thought it would be good to include them in this analysis as well. Standard Dialga would barely edge out its origin form thanks to having 5 higher attack, while standard Palkia would outclass both forms of Dialga, but still fall far below its origin form, due to it having lower attack than its origin form. So in terms of raids at least, Palkia is better in either form with the signature move, though Dialga is still pretty great. But now let's move over to PvP, where things are a bit more interesting, seeing that the two moves have different stats. Roar of Time costs 65 energy for 150 damage, with no drawbacks or effects. This essentially makes it Draco Meteor without any debuff, which is pretty insane. That move can make for a great closer before fainting or switching, but now Roar of Time lets Dialga use that move without any concern for debuffing itself. While Dialga would sometimes debate using Draco Meteor versus Thunder in PvP, with Roar of Time, it's no contest. Origin Dialga and Palkia have the exact same movesets as their standard counterparts, a bit different from Giratina and its origin form, who have differing movesets. But as such, Origin Dialga will want Dragon Breath alongside Iron Head and Roar of Time for PvP. How does its performance look though? Pretty incredible, honestly. Dialga is already a great Pokemon in PvP, but giving it Roar of Time in place of Draco Meteor for its origin form makes it all the better. The only drawback that I will note though is that despite gains in defense, Origin Dialga's lower attack stat does come with more substantial drawbacks. Notably, its attack stat now ties with Groudon and Kyogre, whereas its standard form's attack would beat them by 5. And now the origin form will also have less attack than standard Dialga, Zekrom, and Reshiram, which could hurt it in terms of charged move priority. But honestly, despite this lower attack, I'd say Origin Dialga is still a solid upgrade over normal Dialga. The extra bulk it receives helps offset the lost attack, and honestly, in terms of fast move breakpoints, both forms of Dialga are often doing the same amount of damage with their Dragon Breaths, so it's not as bad as it may seem. Now if standard Dialga were to ever get the move, I think the two would rival each other. Standard Dialga's lesser defense would still hurt it, but being able to win charged move priority, especially with something big like Roar of Time ready to fire, would be pretty big for it. But as of now, Origin Dialga with Roar of Time is still a nice upgrade over the standard form, with it having advantageous additional bulk and not having to dance around the debuff of Draco Meteor. But now let's move over to Origin Palkia and Spacial Rend. In PvP, Spacial Rend is a cheaper move at 50 energy with 95 power. This isn't a nuke move like Roar of Time, but it's still quite good. The move is similar to Crab Hammer or Scald, just with 10 more power and no extra effect. But the nice thing is, this is exactly what Palkia needed in the Master League. Origin Palkia can use Aqua Tail for a cheap baiting move and has Spatial Rend for a stronger, more respectable attack. It's not as expensive as something like Draco Meteor or Dialga's Roar of Time, and with Palkia being a little bit frailer than Origin Dialga, having a cheaper move definitely helps. And overall, the move makes Origin Palkia one of the best new Master League Pokemon. It's not perfect, obviously, losing to big Pokemon like Dialga, Zacian, and Xerneas, but it beats just about every other Pokemon in the Master League. From Zygarde and Groudon to Giratina and Ho-Oh, it actually has the third highest attack in the Master League meta, only under Mewtwo and Landorus Therian, so it won't be losing charge attack priority to many Pokemon at the max level. Now, where Origin Dialga traded some attack for a bit more defense, Origin Palkia gets an increase in both its attack and defense, making it an objective upgrade over standard Palkia. So unfortunately for that form, it'll likely never reach the highs of this new form, even with Spatial Rend. But overall, Origin Palkia looks great, and while Draco Meteor's extra power does offer up some additional wins that the weaker Spatial Rend can't, I'd say the new move is still the way to go, allowing Origin Palkia to outpace a lot more Pokemon. But now we come to the big question: which of these two Origin forms should you prioritize? Which is better? Well, honestly, I think they're both pretty neck and neck. On the raid attacker side, yes, Palkia does have the greater speed of damage, with the better fast move and higher attack. However, if you're using these two against a dragon Pokemon with dragon attacks, Origin Palkia is going to go down quicker than Origin Dialga due to their typings, and that can put Dialga on top. But in other scenarios, Palkia is the clear winner. And on the PvP side of things, if you look at each's win rates, obviously Origin Palkia is better, right? Well, that's raw simulation data, which can often favor Pokemon with cheap charge attacks, like Palkia with Aqua Tail. I think in practice though, these two will do unique things, with Origin Palkia being able to tear through specific Pokemon quicker, both with its higher attack and cheaper moves, while Origin Dialga will be just as impactful as normal Dialga, if not more, seeing that it has some additional bulk and a more flexible nuke move. As someone with a functional perfect Dialga, I think I'll stick with that for now and go more for Origin Palkia. But honestly, I think both of these are really good, not enough to say that either is substantially better than the other. Ultimately, these are two incredible Pokemon for raids and PvP, and you can't go wrong with either. If you play the Master League or want to improve your Dragon teams, these two are must-haves. Down in the comments though, let us know your thoughts on these two new forms and their signature moves. Are you going to go for Origin Dialga more, or Origin Palkia? Or maybe both equally? Comment down below. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Until next time though, thank you so much for watching, and we hope you have a great time during the Go Tour Sinnoh. Take care.